Hello there. Welcome to EverPals.
Welcome to EverPals.
Hey, Pokin. How's it going?
Hi. It's going good. Father's Day.
Father's Day. Yeah, happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you. And to you.
I'm not a father.
Can I still call you Daddy?
We can go with that. Okay. Then I'll take it for this one time. I'll do a Father's Day. So you're calling me Daddy. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, and happy belated Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We weren't doing a podcast.
Miss Mother's Day?
We did. I mean, we weren't doing the podcast yet.
I was gonna say we're terrible people for forgetting Mother's Day.
Yeah, we'll catch you next year.
My wife keeps telling me that she's got I got a surprise for you for Father's Day, and I'm curious to know what it is. She's not very good at surprises, so we'll see what she's got hooked up for me.
Yeah, I'll have to follow up on that next episode.
She did buy a stand from the store. It holds. I have the EverQuest official original soundtrack
on vinyl, right?
Mm-hmm. On vinyl.
Very nice.
And I bought the Mez Spell vinyl. There's only 150 copies of it. It was just sitting kind of like on my desk, and she bought like a little like stand that holds it up. So I'll have to take a picture of that and put it on Instagram.
I say I don't have any like EverQuest memorabilia. I do have the Rogue Epic 2.0 or 1.5.
Oh, yeah,
I have that Epic keychain. Yeah, the keychain part broke, but I still have the dagger. It's like a little mini dagger. It's kind of sharp too.
I had all the I had like some comics and all the cloth maps that they had released, and I had them for a very long time. And I met a guy on Facebook. He lost all his stuff in a garage fire.
Oh.
And I was thinking about selling it because I wasn't really doing anything with it. And then he told me about his garage fire, and I went ahead and sent him all the cloth maps and everything that I had that was EverQuest related. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, it did a little bit of a good deed.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to mine. I had all that stuff back when I lived in Kentucky, and I know it didn't make the trip out here to California. So either I got rid of it, or my friend has it who still lives in Kentucky, and I'm going back there in a few weeks after I graduate. I'll have to ask him about it.
Yeah, but hopefully you still have it. That'd be great to have little keepsakes.
A little off topic, but I know that like we like D&D, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard there's like EverQuest campaigns that are modeled after D&D. We're gonna have to look into this.
Yeah, we would have to.
Because to me, that's like best of both worlds.
A twofer.
A twofer, right?
Before we get going today, I did want to talk about a show that I found on Discovery Plus. Do you know the Discovery Plus app?
I know Discovery Plus app. I don't.
So it's got like ID Channel, Discovery Channel, Food Network. It's got like TLC, all your favorite shows. Because I know you and I both like 90 Day Fiance on there.
We do. I watched that today actually.
Guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
But I found the show on the food version of it, or maybe it was a travel. It's the best pig out spots or something like that. And I've been binge watching all these, like, they just have these like giant pig out meals that like no one person can finish by themselves, and they go around. Kind of like man versus food, but
right.
common everyday meals. Some really good stuff on there. I just been watching it and falling in love. They had like a 3-pound cinnamon roll at this one place. Oh, I know, right?
Oh. Yeah, that's a good way to start off your morning. Eat a 3-pound cinnamon roll, and then just
I mean, if you eat that, you're not going to eat lunch.
You're done for the day.
Yeah. Carved out.
Right.
So, what are we planning on talking about today?
Today, we're talking about the next expansion, the first expansion for EverQuest, Kunark.
On the very first expansion that EverQuest had released, huh?
Right, and I think for Mischief Thornblade is coming out next week.
This
So
week.
right
I
this
think
week.
there's like 5 days left or something like that.
Yeah. So on Wednesday, so like 5 days left.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to talk about it just so we can kind of how it's going to affect Pally, Flexen, Slowen, and Druish. I don't think it'll change too much for us right away, but opens up some possibilities for more exploration, different things we can do. And
Did
also,
you play?
yeah,
Did you play when Kunark came out? Where I mean, like, were you actively playing? Like, did you grit the release of Kunark or?
I remember on Povar when I played on live. Yes, I remember the release of Kunark. Everyone made an Iskar. Ixcar. Maybe we can talk about that. How do you pronounce the lizard race?
Ixar.
I always say it like Ixcar. I say it
So
different ways. It's a tough one for me.
I always thought it was Iskar, like Iskar, but then if you look, it's
It's
actually
IK.
IK, right? Yeah. So I
Ixcar.
always said Ixar, and then I know people used to say Ickies. So
Ickies was a nice
IKKY.
way. Yeah, Ickies.
Yeah.
But confused with Inkies, INNY for like innies for dark elves. That was at
Mm-hmm.
least on my server. It's kind of a nickname for dark elves. But
So
so yeah,
Kunark with the
everyone made
what?
a Ixcar. I made one and drowned.
You drowned?
I drowned.
They're good swimmers, so
They were good swimmers. For some reason, I drowned. So that was my
I
experience of making an Ixcar.
good swimmers, but you're
Yeah,
bad at swimming.
right.
I did drown on my halfling once and was very sad about that.
Yeah,
But Ixars should never drowned.
yeah. But you were what, 10 years old? I was in my
Yeah.
20s, so I don't have an excuse. But it happened. I
Well,
don't remember. Yeah,
the swim mechanic was really difficult back in the day. You had to like page up, page down to like view. I believe
right.
like you couldn't do it from the mouse or whatever.
Yeah, because in the city itself, there's these like water channels, and I fell down
Mm-hmm.
because there's little bridges that interconnect the various parts of the city, and I fell off of it, and I ended up drowning. And then I was like, "What am I?" And there was also, mind you, like I said, everyone was making one, so there were a few hundred people in the zone, so it was pretty chaotic. But I
I
never
live
played
in
one
chaos.
as a main character. Never played one.
No,
No.
I like Ixars. They have so maybe this is a good segue.
Yeah, I think that's a
Ixars
good segue.
have the innate regen and AC bonus, right?
Right. I mean, and that makes them great as necromancers and shadow
Warriors,
knights, warriors. Um, I mean, they're kind of limited to what classes they
shamans.
can play as shamans. Originally, they had, well, they do have a lot of hindrances. They have a lot of negatives. So that means
I think they have a reduction in leveling.
they did. Yeah, I think that's gone now, but they did. They're hated by everyone. So if you're,
Everybody.
everybody hates them. There's, no one on the mainlands that are, it's going to take a lot of factioning because you're not just like threatening or dubious. You're ready to attack.
The other thing that is a big hindrance for Ixars, I know, is they're not allowed to use the class armor that drops during Kunark.
During Kunark, right? And also, I think it used to be where they couldn't get the stuff from like Plane of Hate, Plane of Fear, right?
Right.
Yeah, that is because originally they were going to have where they couldn't wear plate mail.
Yeah,
And
and I think they changed that like right before launch. But
they changed that during Velius. That was
did they?
changed, yeah, on live. That was changed in Velius.
Hmm.
But like I said, now they're going to have an AC bonus and they're going to have
The
some hit
regen.
regen. So it makes them, a lot of people, call them the master race. It is hard to deny that. I mean, um, they have a lot of bonuses, and a lot of those negative things have been taken away over the years.
Dwarf is the master race.
Halflings are pretty awesome.
Yes, the small classes are master races.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to monks,
We forgot about
Ixars,
monk.
I think Ixars are better, but um, everybody has their preference. I think we're going to see a lot of Ixars on the server.
Yes,
Ixars have the one of my favorite newbie zones, Field of Bone. And, well, they actually have two, right? Because you can go to what Swamp of
Kern's
No Hope as
well,
well.
Swamp of Hope, it's there, but no one ever goes there unless it's for like some quest or something. They have like the Froglock City there that you could probably go and level up in, but there's also right
I
off
would
the Field
suggest
of
not
Bone. There's
doing that.
Kern's Tower.
Yeah,
So
Kern's Tower, K Sora is right there as well.
right.
And so this I do have some resources pulled up for our conversation about Kunark today.
Look at you doing research.
Ah,
I like it.
um,
I didn't do much
shout
research
out
today.
shout out to Elmar's Guides. I use Elmar's Guides for epics and a whole bunch of things, but Elmar's ALMARS guides.com.
That's pretty
He
nice.
has a little Kunark leveling guide that he has over here. It talks about some stuff from classic and stuff as well, but some of the places maybe you can find yourself fighting. Um,
So, oops, I had a little bit of technical difficulties there. Ended up pausing the recording, but now we're back. This is a mediocre podcast. My bad. So, Pokin, you were talking about Almar's guides.
yeah, Almars, ALMARS guides.com. I'm sure you've used it for your epic on Mangler.
Yes. I also use it, like you said, for trying to figure out where to go for experience.
Yeah, he does really good epic guides. Epics are going to be a thing that maybe we'll talk later in the episode. I know
Oh yeah,
everybody's
definitely.
favorite thing about Kunark is the release of epics. But he has this leveling guide on here that talks about some classic zones to go to, as well as the Kunark, zones and stuff to hit up, and at different levels. So I thought maybe we would maybe go through 1 to 15, 20 to 25 or 35, and just mention some of the zones that you probably find yourself in Kunark.
Yeah, let's do it.
Would you be interested in starting at level 1 or starting at level 50? Because I think maybe most of our listeners might be at level 50 already.
Let's do like maybe level 40, because I mean we're going to be in that boat. Maybe some people didn't rush it, or maybe they have an alt that they were able to work on a little bit, but they didn't have time just because they had a month. So maybe we could do like level 40.
All right, so he starts off 35 to 45. Some of the Kunark zones that he has on here are Temple of Draga.
Never went in
Now,
there.
a lot of people are going to do some of the questing where you need good faction for Chardock.
Is that all on Chardock faction inside there?
Yeah, if you kill the goblins, you get positive Chardock faction.
Oh, okay. So yeah, okay. Temple of Draga, that's with the goblins, right?
Yep, and Nurga is the other dungeon that's there. I think Nurga might be the maybe the higher level one. I can't quite remember.
And what does he say about that? For me, it's kind of an out of the way zone and not used very much. That's my impression of it.
Well,
what do you think
Draga,
about it?
Well, it's an out of the way zone, but I am a fan of Frontier Mountains.
Yes, Frontier Mountains, nice.
I like that. Draga and Nurga are in Frontier Mountains, so it's not like crazy out of the way.
Right.
Especially
if you're over there, Frontier Mountains, then you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad.
So Frontier Mountains has the the giant fort and stuff there, and I think that's a great spot to go and fight and destroy some giants, get some good loot. But I know Draga and Nurga are pretty difficult dungeons. The goblins they run on low health,
right?
And they have some allies that'll heal through walls, but there's some good loot in there.
Yeah. Okay.
There's also City of Mist around that level, 35 to 45.
Yeah, we talked about
Um,
City Mist maybe being a place we could go. I think it's gonna be pretty popular. Something I do know about
I,
that zone is that the names spawn randomly, right?
I'm not sure. I'm not
I think I've heard of
quite too
that.
sure about that.
Yeah,
I just know that there's a lot of epics that you need to come across in there, and
right,
people will be fighting in the back by the reavers, and
right.
lots of undead in there. It's a great place to go.
Yeah, I think
One,
we'll
one,
definitely take a stop there for a level or two.
if you're traveling through War Six Woods, the Crypt of Dalnir, that's like the antisocial dungeon.
Right. Yeah, that's another one I never spent much time in.
I spent a lot of time there
Did you?
back in live.
Is that
Yeah.
because you were antisocial?
Um, no, I think it's because that was like the only place I could get groups.
Right. Okay.
And as a mage, um, the guild wouldn't let me kill in Chardock.
Oh, because you need to call the hero for raids and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see.
Yes. So you would have to have good faction in Chardock, and
Right.
yeah, you'd go level up in Draga, you would go level up in Nurga, but you'd have to like kind of like figure out a lot of places to go and be creative with your leveling. So I've definitely done Crypt of Dalnir,
Yep. It's one of those places I
uh,
haven't checked
and
out, so we might
then
have to check it out.
another good like low 30s 20s kind of level is the over there. You can go ahead and go to the Skyfire ramp.
Yep. And that's where on Povard, that's where I started. I was around level 35, 40, and I did field killing in the over there by the Skyfire ramp.
Yeah, lots of kiters. You can get a couple of groups there. I know lots of groups like to hang out. There's a little pond, so it's a great place to go.
For sure. Yeah.
30, 35 to 45, you can find me personally in Carnor's Castle.
Yep. That was the next spot I went to. Um, I went to Dreadlands. I don't know, is that on
Hmm.
the list for that level? Like
Yeah,
40, like 35,
Dreadlands
40s?
is the next one. Yep,
Yep. I did
that's more
Dreadlands.
for like I would say boxers and kiters and stuff.
I did like we had full groups. I mean, granted, this was when you didn't have picks and everything, but we'd be right outside of Cornwall's Castle and pull up to the walls there and
Oh
kill the
yeah, you
troll
used to be
hordes
able
and stuff.
you would pull and but you would get a lot of ads, so you people would run right into Carnor's Castle,
Yeah.
and then they would run right back out because there's always a train at the
Oh,
the
there was
zone in.
so there was. I don't know if it was like this in your server, but in my server, I can't remember which way it was, but I think it was if you go to the left side, that's for entering the zone, and if you go to the right side, that's for exiting the zone. That way, if you're coming into Carnor's Castle, you're not zoning into a train.
Right. So going into Carnor's from Dreadlands, you would enter through the right,
Oh,
and leaving through Carnor's, you would exit through the right.
right, okay. For some reason, I thought it was left and left, but I mean, it might have been that on your server, and mine the other way on my server.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you learn pretty
Um,
quick if you walk into a train. There's like Carnor's is pretty infamous for its trains.
Carnor's is going to be hacked because there's so many names in Carnor's Castle.
Yep, the experience is good. There's a mixture of undead, and they're relatively easy mobs, nice and easy to pull. So it's
I
going to be
can
very
see us
popular.
I can see us doing a Carnor's Castle guide, much like we did for Unrest.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think we should do that.
Also, if you get your key, you can go to Ode Seb.
Sebulus.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sebulus is good. There's a lot of names in there. There's a lot of good loot, especially so you're looking on Thornblade for loot and mobs that can drop all the randomness. But gotta go ahead and get your key first. Key's pretty easy to get. I have an assumption that Trackinen's Teeth is going to be pretty loaded
Yeah,
right
I
at
mean,
launch.
right. I don't think we're going to be one of those people that are in there. We're not going to be 50 at that point. We're just going to kind of take it slow. There's 2 more months to get up to 60, and we'll get that. But we'll get our Seb key. I think we definitely want to go check out Seb.
So, word of warning or caution for those trying to go get the sub key: do not forget that the Froglocks and Trekkin's teeth have sow, and they're fast,
Yeah.
and they like to aggro other sow frogs in the area. Um, and so, good luck.
Make sure you have someone to snare or root. Root probably
Uh,
preferred.
I would say have a bard, somebody that can track and help get you away with silos a little bit faster.
Now, do you think there's going to be people sitting on these spawns and sitting on this camp to try to sell the pieces because it's all tradable now?
Yeah, I do think
Okay.
they'll be sold.
Yeah. I mean, it might not be a bad thing, but I'm saying like the people are just going to be like, nobody's buying it. I'm just destroying it. So I just hope there's not that kind of thing going on, but there probably will be.
No, you and I've had some good experiences here on Thornblade, so
Oh yeah.
I doubt it'll be that difficult. But
Okay.
so the next levels would be 45 to 60, and for 45 to 60, um, there's quite a bit of different zones you can go to. Um,
Right.
Again, Seb, for the higher levels, you go a little bit deeper in. You can go down and kill the Sebelites,
The juggernauts.
past the Juggernauts. Yep, down
Hmm.
past the mushrooms. There's the Mushroom King down there too.
Mushroom King. Yep. All
I
the.
don't
Go ahead.
I don't particularly like killing the mushrooms. They heal and they run and
Right.
they aggro, and it's a pretty difficult spot to kill. But if you have a good group, I'm sure it shouldn't be that big of a deal. There's Burning Woods. You have any experience fighting in Burning Woods at all?
No, never did. It was just too dense. I mean, it's woods. Uh, I don't remember. I mean, I'm sure there's probably some camps in there somewhere. I know there's the Hornets and things like that, but no. My leveling experience, even with Polly on Mangler, was Sebelis, Carnor's Castle. I stuck to what I knew, and also Dreadlands with Polly.
I like Burning Woods, but I hate the zones that are like dark and eerie and hard to see, and there's trees all over the place. But I'm sure you'll see a lot of people in the Burning Woods trying to get maybe worm slayer drops, the wormy
Yeah.
quest.
Yep.
So I know that's in
That's
Burning Woods.
isn't that secondary only, or is it primary only? I think it's primary only.
Uh,
At
it
least it used to be.
has the bane to worms and dragons or whatever, right?
Yeah, and it's like a 25-40. Is that right? And for a
Oh,
one
no,
hand slash, that's amazing for the era.
you're asking me questions I don't know the answer to. Why
Well,
would
so
you put
I
me on
knew
the
this
spot like that?
because I kind of remember this because I was a warrior at the time, and there was always that debate whether this was a good aggro weapon, and people were like, "No, it's not," because the the ratio is too slow. It's like a 4 second swing. You need something that hits like very fast and hits often. But people swore
Uh,
by those
I,
worm slayers.
I think it comes in handy when you go into Vishan's Peak.
See, I never raided in Bichon's Peak, so
And you shouldn't either. No, yeah,
yeah,
we'll talk about Vishan's Peak.
yeah. I know
Um,
what you think about that zone. I already know, but our listeners don't, so they're gonna hear it. All
they're
right,
gonna
so
have to hear me
yep,
complain.
is
Skyfire.
Skyfire. I was about to say Skyfire, really wide
Okay, we're
open.
on the same wavelength
We
right
are, and I
there.
was like, why? How come you can't talk about Skyfire yet? Really wide open, lots of dragons, chroma drakes, different things. There's even those little swimming sperms. You know what I'm talking about? The ravenous something or another.
The, yes, I know what you're talking about. The
We
sperms.
saw those things. We're like, what the hell is this? Oh, I'll kill it. Uh, that's pretty much how we did it. But um, which dragons spawn there? I know there's the cleric epic Ragefire, but is it? Oh man.
So Ragefire now has a spawn, right? You
Okay,
can you do your turn and it'll spawn for you.
right.
So it doesn't just spawn on its own.
Right.
But Talendor is there.
Talendor. That's the
Mm-hmm.
one. Yeah.
And be careful, because if you don't see him, he'll come get you.
Yeah, he will wreck your world. You won't have a chance. Same with in
And
Dreadlands, Gornair. I remember there
oh,
was once when I got ported in, and I saw someone talk about Dreadlands. It's really interesting. So Dreadlands is a single zone, but it has like three different biomes within that zone. So you port in to like the Druid Ring or the Wizard Spire, and that's kind of off in its own little area. And there's very little mobs there. There's a few in like the remnants of the Combine Empire, like giant spires, the biggest that we've seen so far. And then you go through a tunnel, and now you're in this frozen tundra, and that's where Gornair will hang out and kill you. And then beyond that, you have like a desert kind of thing. And somebody was talking about that. I can't remember which person was talking about that, but I thought that was a really interesting perspective.
yeah, I'm not a God. Dreadlands is such a huge zone. I hate
Yeah.
having to run through it. And if you don't have SOW, you're gonna be SOL. You know what I'm saying?
And levitate.
But yes, you need both if you're running through that zone.
I agree. Yeah.
On top of Skyfire, you would have Chardock, and Chardock is going to be the zone that you're going to see the most people in on the server.
Right.
Maybe the best XP camp in all of Kunark would be Kennels, deep down at the very bottom of Chardock. It is. They used to be able to have people run, and you used to be able to stun at the zone in, so people would run down, bring all the mobs to the top, stun, and do XP that way. But they have since nerfed that.
So similar to like they do in the
But
deep later on, right?
yes,
Okay. Spoilers.
but they don't do that anymore. So now you just have places to go group up,
Okay.
and it's actually a very big zone, lots of different groups, lots of different areas to go group in. And usually I would say level maybe 53 or so, you can head over there and find a group. It's If you haven't spent a lot of time in there, you're going to.
Yeah, I think Carnor's kind of maxes out around 54, 55, right? I mean, you could stay there, maybe get 60, but it's going to be not going to be very optimal. You either need to go
No.
to Sebelis or Chardock.
And you'll see there's a huge difference between the XP rate in Seblis and the XP rate in Chardock. Chardock is just second to none.
Oh, so yeah, never made it there. Now Chardock, you do not need a key for, right?
You do not need a key
okay.
for.
You need it for Howling Stones.
Correct. And
jumping like
I'll
from
just
stone to zone.
And you're lucky that I can keep up with you here. I'll just say Howling Stones is on this list.
Okay.
It's mostly undead. Howling Stones is a great zone to go level in, but it's dangerous. There's not a port out as soon as you get in there. It's kind of hard to get in and out of.
Yeah.
So unless you're a gator,
Right. Well, it's the same with
you do need a
Sebelis.
key.
Like when you go into Sebelis, then you turn around and there's a wall. You have to go through several mobs just to get to the exit.
Sebelis is easier to exit out of than I would say Howling Stones is. I know there's an exit in Howling Stones, but it's past Drusilla, who is the boss of the zone.
Oh.
And it's pretty deep in, so.
So like even if you were in an EXP group, getting out of there is difficult.
Correct.
Oh.
And you need the key for Howling Stones. So the key for Howling Stones is a piece from the Sarnak Fort in Lake of Ill Omen.
Okay.
And a piece from a undead mob deep in Kesora, which is another zone that's hard to get out of once you get down there. Lots of dungeons in Kunark.
I will say something nice about the TLPs in relation to being able to gate out. Now we now have Origin, or we also have the return home function. Like if you log out for long enough, log back into the character select screen, you can hit that return home, and that doesn't count as an origin. It works the same way, but origin's on a 15-minute cooldown now, right? So
Yes.
it changes the game a lot. Think about Vishan's Peak. There's no exit from that, right? There's no exit from there. Is that correct?
Mm,
Or where was it? I thought
mm,
no. You look it up
I
because I'm
want to
not
say
opening in a browser.
I want to say there's an exit in Vishan's Peak from way deep by Faradar, but I could be wrong.
Or maybe it is like you cannot gate out, you can only zone out. There was something
You
special.
can
Go ahead.
you used to not be able to gate out. I think you can gate out now.
Okay. Yeah. I remember there was something really special about that zone. And on Povar, we were playing Triton, the Fires of Heaven equivalent on Povar, basically said, we have this on lockdown. You're not touching any of it. So we didn't get to
Right.
raid there. I think we
Yeah, so it
did.
doesn't look like there's a zone out just from this map I'm looking at, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
It looks like there's a zone to Plane of Sky in here.
So maybe you go there and go to Plane of Sky and then take a jump.
Jump off, yeah.
Yeah.
Zone
So
out to Plane of Sky, it says,
is
yeah.
that all the
That'd be
XP
kind of cool.
places to do? From like 40 up?
Oh, it looks. Yeah, so besides Vishan Speak, so maybe we should just talk about that real quick.
Okay.
Um,
Do you want to talk about that? Do you need like a blanket before we start talking about it or anything?
Vishan Speak is a great zone. They put a lot of effort into it.
I like the
I
idea
think
and the lore behind it. I really like that.
they definitely threw a lot of mobs in the way between you and your goals, and then they
Right.
also made the dragons in there just difficult enough with mitigation of the mighty, where you want to put your head through your computer screen. So,
Yeah. I mean,
but
I like a
Vishan's Peak
challenge.
is
Go ahead.
Vishan's Peak's the final zone of Kunark.
Yes, I think it is.
And to get there, you need a key. So this is I would say this is the beginning of you need keys to go into zones, which is it becomes a challenge on some of the other expansions that you do.
Right. It
I
becomes
think
like
what
that
they did
bottleneck kind of thing.
right. Obviously I'm thinking of Vexthal key.
Yep. Plane of
And the
Storms.
key the,
Try to get progression in Planes of Power.
oh right. But the Vishan's Peak key I feel like was made really difficult on the TLPs because everybody wants to get in there and there's just not enough things available. It's a short amount of time, so everybody's camping on spots, and it's it's a difficult journey to get into Vishan's Peak on the progression servers unless you are prioritizing it.
Yeah, I didn't do
And
it for Poly because at that point in Kunark, Poly wasn't rating. I was only like in the 30s or something, like level 30 something. And then on live, and like I said, it just wasn't an option for us in Era. And so our guild just said, we're not going to bother with this. We're going to focus on other things.
so to get into Vishan's Peak, you need to get a Trakenen's Tooth, which means you need to kill Trakenen.
Who's like
And
the big baddie at the bottom of Sepolis.
Right, which you need a key to get into.
Yep, you need a key to get in there and also kill him.
And then he only drops like 10 teeth, I think, per kill.
Okay.
So you would need to kill him quite a bit of times to get your whole raid force keyed up. And then you need 3 different medallions, the Jarsath, the Obelisk, and the Kailong medallions. And each medallion requires an upper, a middle, and a bottom portion. So a total of 9 pieces from different mobs.
Now, these mobs, are they all rare mobs or just like a rare drop?
Yep, there's a ground spawn in Swamp of No Hope. And I would say they spawn pretty fast, but it's like an hour respawn.
Jeez.
per medallion piece. So
And you're
you'll
thinking
see
about you got
people,
2,000 people looking for it or something.
right?
That's a
It's
problem.
ridiculous. Then there's in Furiona Ve, there's the AJ, Ancient Jarsath. Do you remember him?
I've heard of it. Yeah, it's a Spectre kind of mom, right? Iskar Spectre.
So what they did was on Mangler, anyways, during that time, people were um, I don't know, camped or bound like on top of the giant Ixar statue in the middle of Furiona Ve,
Yeah.
and it was like 90 feet up in the air. So unless you were left up there, there's no way of anybody else getting over there.
Okay.
So people would like charm it and then gate or do whatever they could to get back up there so nobody else could get AJ. And so now they actually did a thing on the servers. Now they patched it where you can't charm rare mobs or name mobs like that.
Okay. Yeah.
So they fixed it a little bit, but he's still going to be probably the most camp portion of the quest.
Yeah. But
Um,
like even as bad as it is on the TLP, can you only imagine? I mean, you did this, right? How hard it was with it, on live. You didn't have picks, you didn't have agent of change.
nope.
If you wanted to kill Trachanon, you had to beat out all the other guilds and kill it to get everyone keyed for V-Shot speed.
Yeah, but you also got to think we didn't know that there was going to be another expansion. We didn't know that
Right.
Felius was going to come out.
Right.
And everybody thought that there was just an abundance of time
Right.
to do this stuff. So plus it took like months and months and months to figure out what we were doing
What you
anyway.
actually
So
needed to do, right? We have all this information
right.
now, but yeah. Okay.
The one of the other key pieces that I wanted to talk about was the Pain Soul and Trackman's Teeth. He tends to be a jerk. Luckily for TLPs and stuff, EverQuest has been, or Daybreak has been really good at doing rare spawns for different holidays and stuff, increase rare
Right.
spawns.
That
So,
50% increase. Yeah.
uh, maybe just pick and choose what pieces you need and just know if you're going to some of these zones like Kesora or Karner's Castle, you may want to camp the spots that are going to drop those key portions. So,
Now, I know they do this now, but I don't remember if they did this for Kunark. Can you be 85'd in, or do you have to have that key to zone in?
I believe you can be 85'd in, but I
And
think
then,
also 85'd into zones didn't start until later on.
right. And then
So I'm not
also, is
quite
there
sure.
like a back flag piece or something you
There
can
isn't.
loot? There is not.
No
So
backflip. No.
just get your damn key.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, we talked about some of the zones that you can go through. Do you have a favorite Kunark zone that you like?
Yeah, I was master of Karnor's Castle. Um, I really enjoyed it. I knew every bit of it. Obviously, I've probably forgotten about some of it now. It's been close to 20 years or whatever. But that was my hangout spot, and I knew it really well. Um, I didn't have any experience in Chardock other than taking Polly through there to get my halfling mask, and I could see like how much there was there and different levels of mobs and different things. It looked pretty cool. Um, but yeah, Karna's Castle is probably one of my favorites. Vindrel Sathir was one of my favorite raids to do, and I just really liked his character model and just trying to kill a lich or something like a lich. I don't know if he was exactly a lich, but seeing his remains and then seeing his true model was pretty cool because he was an Iskar, but they made him look a little more detailed.
Yeah, I really like the fight for Veneral Sathir where you have to like turn him because as soon as he turns around, he'll repost and get all his life back.
Yeah,
And he's one of the few fights where you could be thinking that you're going to get it, but at 5%, he,
does a big AOE or something, and I
your
can't remember if he had
warrior
like an
dies,
AE
and
life drain. It gets pretty chaotic. Yeah.
yeah, Yeah, very interesting for warriors to do because you got to hold aggro, but you also don't want to use two hand or one handers
Right.
because of the repos. So yeah, you want to use your two hander and try to hold aggro, and it's a mess.
Yeah. I don't remember him hitting that hard. I can't remember that. Um,
He doesn't hit hard, but he'll life tap you.
I wonder if people just use like SKs and paladins to tank them nowadays.
You could,
Yeah. Anyway,
but you still want defensive, I think.
right. Defensive is pretty awesome. So we
Which
talked about what? So
I was gonna say that leads into another great topic, which is how Kunark kind of made each class, I would say, useful.
okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know where you're going with this.
So what Kunark did was when they launched, they kind of gave each class like solidity. Wizards became the ultimate nukers.
Right.
Warriors became the ultimate tanks,
Hmm.
raid tanks. They kind of uh, emphasized that, hey, okay, wizards, you and mages are pretty similar. We're gonna make you the top nuke class, and mages are gonna be reduced a little bit.
Right.
So where enchanters became like, hey, we're going to be the ones with slow and haste, but we'll give shamans the better slow, we'll give enchanters the better haste, we'll give enchanters charm. They definitely put effort into giving each class their own
A little more
abilities, their own
specialization. Yeah. Hmm.
specializations, right? And so with the release of Kunark, a lot of the classes get their disciplines,
Yes.
and warriors. Obviously, we're both very warrior type people.
Hmm.
They get their defensive and evasive discipline, which they
Oh
use
yeah.
for a very long time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I was just thinking about that too. Spells. Some of them can't be researched, right? They're like drops in higher level zones. Is that right?
Yeah, you got to go get those spells
Yeah.
from
Because I didn't play
settlers and
a
stuff.
caster. I played Polly as a rogue and then Neo Knight as the warrior. I didn't play a caster, so I didn't have that need. I just kind of remember spells dropping randomly while I was EXP.
Right, those spells sound good. Um, and you'll see like the res spell, call of the hero, some of those spells selling pretty high for the first couple weeks. So if
Cool.
you're leveling in those high level zones and you're getting those high level spells, put them in your backpacks.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, everybody gets like new spells. And let's see, we have the one big matzo ball to talk about, epics. We have enough time to talk about epics. We have a little while.
Sure, we
Um,
can talk about
something
epics.
I wanted to ask you is like, what epic is a must get? I mean, I think quite a few of them are, but what would you rank? Like, if a class doesn't have their epic, then that class, I wouldn't say can't be played, but isn't going to be very viable in like raids or high end groups. What do you think that one
So
class is?
the very most important epic that is useful forever is the cleric epic.
Yeah.
I think everybody knows that. Because you're still getting those 90% reses. They cost mana. Um, you're still eating death touches and stuff from mobs, and they have that mechanic in those raids where you're going to lose your tanks, and you want to get that 96% res, that 10-second clicky spell,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
you
for
can just,
raids, it's invaluable.
oh yeah, and you have two, three, you get one cleric up, and as soon as they're up, they can start resing other clerics, and then they can start resing people, and it just goes.
Yeah. So I know a lot of guilds focus on, just everyone pitching in, helping the clerics get their epic. I mean, it's a nice epic. Otherwise, like 15 wisdom, 100 mana. I don't remember if it has hit points on it or not. I'm going off of just memory of somebody linking it to me like a long time ago. But it's a nice item regardless.
Uh, I think some of the other like really in era valuable Epics would be, like the bard, the shaman, monk is pretty valuable. Rogue, you get your attack boost. It's one of the
Right.
best piercing weapons in the game at the time. So there's a couple of them, but I mean, Shadow Knight, Enchanter, eh.
Paladin
Paladin looks
mm,
cool, but
looks
kind
cool,
of
but
pointless.
nah.
Wizard, eh.
Right. Mage is nice because
Druid,
Mage gives you a
Druid, eh.
great pet. It's like the best
Yes,
pet in the game.
they made the Mage Epic great, but it gets replaced pretty fast too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, next
Unfortunate.
expansion is going to be replaced by, can't remember if it's next expansion or maybe even into Luckland, but
Yeah, they get one of the air pets that just becomes. I think I want to
just
say it's the
better.
level. Yeah,
Okay.
level 62 maybe. Once there's another, I'm not sure. But yeah, at the time, the epic pet is the best pet that you could have. But like I said, quickly replaced for the difficulty too.
Yeah, I liked the Epic Quests. I think that was something that, um, it comes into play again. You get like the 1.5 and the 2.0, they were in the same expansion. But you don't see anything like the Epic Quest again for a very long time. It's not until Omens of War until we see these again. And that's a really long time. Maybe it's not that long in TLPs, but in the game itself, it was really long. There were other big quests, kind of like an epic quest, like I'm trying to think like the Shaw quest or something like that. But I think it was really cool, and I wish there was more of this. I wish there were more epic
Well,
quests
I
like this,
think
but it's a lot of work.
that's what made them special. Was there? I mean, there wasn't another quest like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it was the one thing that you could do that took forever to get done.
Well, I think having it be stand above everything else in that expansion, but then replacing it because some classes replaced it in the next expansion in Velius, and you're like, man,
Which
I
is
did all that work, and then now it's gone. It's gonna sit in my bank.
one of the negatives to EverQuest in general is they put all these efforts into making like these awesome weapons and stuff, and then they were like, hey, we're going to make the mobs harder, we're going to increase everything, and now you need to go and get all these better weapons. So you shoved all this time into
Right.
getting a weapon that's useless now. So
And
they do that for every expansion, really,
right.
not just with the epics.
Well, that's true. I know. But I was saying like maybe in I mean not every expansion have this kind of thing, but maybe every other expansion they could have had, updated epic quests and because I really like doing the 1.5. I feel like they crammed those together so quick, like because both of them require a lot of work. I think the 1.5s in general are more of a time sink than the 2.0s, except for the whole going to Anguish thing. But um, I would have liked to seen like maybe epic chest items, like not a weapon, but a chest slot item, and you had to do an epic quest to get it. That would
They
have been
kind of
cool.
did that with clerics, where you got a shield instead of primary.
Oh no, I mean, I'm just kind of throwing ideas out there, but I think it would have been really cool if every class gets a class-specific chest item with like a clicky or some kind of focus effect, and they had to do an air quote epic quest to get it.
Oh right, yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, but hey,
What's your favorite epic like design?
ooh, I like the look of the Enchanter epic, the snake. I really
The
liked
snake
that one.
staff.
Yeah, the snake staff. I really liked it. If you look at it, pretty close, it seems like there was a lot of design that went into it. And the
I
other ones had more
obviously,
particle effects.
yeah, the skittle stick.
How about you?
The mage epic. The skittle stick is
Oh, you like?
awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked cool. I can remember drawing it like in my notebooks as a kid.
Did you had it?
Um,
I'm sure you did, right?
yeah, well,
Yeah,
yeah, I did.
yeah.
The skill stick was awesome. I like the mace, just the idea of having the cleric like flail is really cool.
Hmm.
The warrior lightsabers is another one that comes to mind.
Yep.
And I can remember seeing necros with the duck staff.
Yeah,
I
it's like
don't
a
know
little
if
duck
that's what you guys
skull.
called it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I mean, I don't think we called it, but I know what you're
I
talking about.
uh I like I think that's what we used to call it on Vishan, was like the duck stick or duck staff. And like I just remember seeing like an Ixar necro sitting in Luckland with his duck staff and being like, ooh.
Oh yeah, it was a status symbol, especially early on in the expansion. I'm not saying early, but if you're one of the first few people to get it on the server, people are going to congregate around you and take a look at it. And
Mm-hmm.
I know the cleric one is used for a very long time, pretty much forever. Um, I don't. There's a couple that have clickies. I mean, maybe the shaman one might be used a few other times. Most of them get replaced eventually. And it's kind of like I said, it's kind of a shame.
I do. The shaman one is the clicky slow.
Yeah,
I know that's a good one to have for a little bit. So
yeah. I mean, if we as Everpals intend to do some of these epics, we're either going to need to buy the items with Chrono or join a guild, and we'll just have to, like right now, joining a guild while we're raiding on Mangler and doing all that. It's not something I'm thinking about. But if we want to do epics, if we want to continue on, maybe we want to join a guild. I don't know. We haven't talked about that, have we?
yeah, uh, I don't know. That's something to talk about maybe offline.
Yep. But we're having fun doing the leveling process, and we're having fun raiding with pals.
Yeah, I before we end this episode, you want to catch us up on what we've been doing?
Yeah. So we had a leveling session again. We just kind of hit each other up and said, "Hey, want to finish up on rest?" And we logged on, and who did we see?
Hendel and
Hendel and
Suncat.
Suncat. Like right when we logged on, they were there. I kind of worried they might be stalking us, but hey, we appreciate it. I'm kidding.
I was gonna go to fireplace. I jumped into a pick. I saw that they were there. I didn't know if they were heading to, fireplace or what, but that's when I started talking to you and being like, "Hey, these guys just logged on right in front of me." I went up to fireplace and unrest to see if the camp was open, and I flopped down and I saw Suncat getting beat on.
Right.
I sent Suncat a tell, asked if she wanted to group up again, or he wanted to group up again, and she said yes. And then the next tell was like, help.
Yeah, I wasn't up there
So
yet.
I ran over there. She got real close, like 4%. I finally killed the skeleton that was beating on her, and it
What?
was
You're
great.
quite
It
the
was great.
hero.
Then we just started. I do what I can.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah. So then after that, how we all got up to fireplace. I was pulling, splitting poles.
You
Looked
were. Yeah,
good.
we left at level 17, and so you just got Feign Death, and you leveled it up, um, using your monk skills to level it up, and you got it max level, so you're quite the flopper.
Oh yeah. And we sat up there for a couple levels. What are we now? 19, 20?
I think we're 19, probably like
19. We
halfway. I think
got our new heal.
got our new heals. Druish is now going out of mana. I got to figure out like time the heals a little better.
Mm-hmm.
We got a few the reanimated hand, one of our first, other than Rahotep, one of our
Mm-hmm.
first rare spawns. Did we get anything good from it? I don't think we did. We got a Savant Cap, and nobody really wanted it. I think Suncat ended up taking it. And
Some
oh, I
some
got a shield.
boots.
Yeah,
You did get a shield.
yeah,
Crack something shield, I
cracked
think.
Darkwood shield. Yeah, 12 AC and 9 strength, but I don't have a Ghoul Bane to use with it. So,
Yet.
yet. Quest to get the Ghoul Bane. But we do know that we can handle this camp. The EXP was coming in pretty good. We didn't hang out for too long, just maybe a couple hours, I think. And we'll have to go back to fireplace. I think it might not be easy for the four of us, but I think just the four of us could handle that camp.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I think that we can handle the camp, but I'm not saying that an overpowered paladin and necro didn't help out at all, and
Yeah, and then I think he logged on
casting
as
clarity. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Logged on panic and gave us some clarity and some damage shield and stuff. So, but yeah, we had a good time, and we'll have to figure out when we can make some time to go back. I know I have to keep practicing, keep working on my presentation. I sent you the email for that Thursday, so a little under a week. Then that'll be behind me and can focus on a little bit of fun.
correct.
Yeah. Let's see. Anything else going on?
No. I
Okay.
mean, yes, there's always something going on, but
Oh, we could talk about Kunark for another hour, but we're gonna kind of make these around an hour-ish, and we're almost there.
it's just so hard to make things so in depth for everybody, but also, we want to put some information in there, but also we want to hit everything,
Yeah.
So
Before we go, I
it's
want to ask
difficult.
you. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I like when you ask me questions.
Yeah, I want to ask you like, what do you think our leveling path is going to be for Kunark? Do you have it in your mind, or you just want to let the wind carry us where it's going to? Because
I
I've
think
researched it.
I think we'd be I know. I think we'd be dumb to stay in classic when we can definitely go to Kunark and get pieces for our epics and do some things like that. Um, I foresee us hitting up City of Mist.
Okay.
I think we get bored of City of Mist pretty fast and we go
Yep.
to Karner's Castle.
Okay.
Because Flexa needs a T staff.
Right.
And I think then we go and hit up the hole,
So
and
go back to
then we
classic.
head back to Chardock. Mm-hmm.
Do you want to mess with
Then
Chardock
back to Chardock.
insanity?
You have to.
Is it just like the place to be? So does Chardock have a lot
Yes.
of named also? Like, so there's a lot of rare spawns. Like, I already had this pulled up so I can look at this. Kind of looking. You have the
If
list
you scroll
from.
down to like,
Go ahead.
if you're looking at the list that I have as well.
Yeah.
If you scroll down to like level 50,
Keeper,
level
Foreman,
52.
Overseer,
Oh no,
Underboss.
you went too far.
Whoa,
So
there's a
starting
lot
at
then.
52, there's 2. Yeah, then starting at 53, there's 2. 54, there's 4 names.
There's a lot in sublist
56,
though.
there's what, 10?
Oh,
There is.
yeah, Chardock's gonna be the place to be. Okay.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And not just the names either, you know what I'm saying? But
The
the
experience.
XP.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you're getting experience while you're getting names. I can just see it being completely overloaded. And
Okay.
plus you're gonna get those sublist drops while you're fighting Chardock anyways.
Exactly. Yeah, not for the drops. I'm just saying, you want the place that's gonna have it all. It's gonna have great experience, like you said. It's gonna have great drops and lots of chances for drops.
Hmm.
Cool. How many groups can Chardock handle at once? Because I know
Um,
Carnors, it's like I think it's like four, like maybe 5 groups, 6 groups. I think Carnors can handle and like keep everybody happy. It can go higher, I know, but because you could do like left courtyard, right courtyard, and then you have the I can't remember all the captain up there, the castle fart, and then you get the basement, you get the hand group. All this is off just memory. But I don't know Chardock. Is it big? Can it handle a lot of people?
yeah, I was just going through some of the camps in my head or some
Mm-hmm.
places I've seen people camp before, and there's easily 7 different camps.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you pair that
So
up with being able to spawn picks it's going to be pretty nice.
Yeah, you're gonna forever see people hanging out over at Chardock. So I'm just saying we're gonna have to get up to those levels, and we won't have problems getting groups or starting groups. But every place is gonna be camped in there. So
Okay,
and
we'll make our
there's some
appearance.
tricks for getting through there too. So we'll have to show you some of the tricks to get through.
Tricks, I like tricks. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
cool.
roguish things that I've learned over the
Well,
course of my
we're no
time
longer
on Wrangler.
rogues. Well,
I'm
again, sorry
forever a
for
rogue.
the technical difficulties. About 10 minutes in, I'm
You better
working
be
in my
sorry.
I'm working in my studio upstairs, and my internet connection's not as great up here. I got to invest in a better. I think you talked about maybe getting some better, getting a better Wi-Fi signal up here, but it worked. I just can't open up any additional browsers, so I just have to go off memory, and so not always the best, but we made it work.
I started a Twitter for us. I also started a link tree. So it's a one link thing that you would have to go to, and then you can find us anywhere. It'll have a link to every single one of our social medias and our podcast streaming services. So
Yeah,
um,
thanks, Spoken.
I suggest you probably link our link tree now in all our episodes.
I can do that.
And then also, we'll probably be getting some new listeners here soon because I'm going to start advertising on different Facebook groups and Twitter, and we'll see what else I can find. So,
Okay. Yeah, when we get the word out, I think people that have listened to it, they told us they like it. Always wonder why. For me, it just seems like you and I are just, shooting the shit and talking to each other, and we enjoy it. So I'm glad everyone else enjoys it too. That means a lot.
yeah, thank you for listening. If you've made it to our 5th episode, uh, you've done something, or we've done something right.
We've done it right. No, we really appreciate you, listening, and sticking out this far. More to come. Um, tell us what you want to hear. Like I kind of, we haven't had much outside input, but if people are listening, then people are liking it. But if there's something you want us to talk about or mention on the next episode or an episode coming up, let us know and we'll try to make it happen.
Yes, maybe. No guarantees.
Well, no, there's no guarantees, but if we like the topic that you suggested, then we'll preface it with that.
I hate all topics.
We gotta have a topic.
The only
Something.
topic I liked was Kunark.
Well, this was Kunark. You didn't like when we talked about unrest?
No, I didn't like when we talked about Vishan's Peak.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sorry. Go have a glass of warm milk, or just you get a glass of milk, and where you live, it will become warm. So you don't have to make it warm.
120 degrees.
Yeah.
All I have to do is leave it out for a second.
Leave it out, and it becomes a nice warm glass of milk.
Correct.
Let me think. Yeah, check us out on Discord. I know you know all that stuff. Email everpalsthornblade@gmail.com. Haven't heard from anybody yet. I guess y'all don't have email or something.
What is this, 1999?
When we get our Discord, and some people are on there, but I'd like more people to be on there. We can like share stuff, and you got pictures of the adventures of Pally and Flexin. Got pictures there, right? And we have
Yes,
on
pictures on
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah, but if you go to what's it called again? The tree thing.
Link tree.
Link tree. There'll be a link in the description for this for the podcast. I'm going to put it in there when we get done here. You ready for outro music?
Yeah,
because otherwise we'll just keep talking for another hour. So I'm going to play the outro music and wrap this up.
Okay, wait, let me do it again. Ready? Play the outro music.
Playing it now.